Welcome to BattleTech in the Morning with Captain Nips. I'm Captain Nips, and it's been a little bit of a while. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a week since my last recording, and for the three of you that actually care, and we're wondering, where did he go for a week? Where did he disappear off to? Well, it turns out I was at the 4 best days of gaming that you can possibly get. I was at Gen Con, and so instead of a daily BattleTech video and some scrums with some digital opponents, I was at a giant tabletop gaming festival where I was having live scrums on tabletops with miniatures and stuff. But now I'm back, and I'm refreshed and I'm recovered because, con is wonderful but exhausting, and sometimes you need a day down to recover from that. And in the meanwhile, we got a new beta patch, which it turns out I actually played at Gen Con day 1, first thing in the morning, Thursday of last week. I played the multiplayer demo at Harebrained Schemes booth at Gen Con against one of my good friends, and it's real good. And I'm super excited to get into that action with some of my friends online here. But today, to start out, I'm gonna poke around a little bit, because I did not get a chance to play the single player beta update.
Welcome, Commander.
And there's a few changes going on here. So, first thing that jumps out as obvious is that every pilot has 2 skills now. They redid the entire pilot roster a bit. They wobbled some things around. And for any of you that are, paying close attention to what's going on with the BattleTech beta, like, you already know pretty much everything that I might mention. This is me exploring the beta since I haven't actually had a chance to play since it launched. So I'm going to poke around a little bit. I think for a refresher back in the command chair day, I'm just going to poke around a little bit. I'm going to poke around with the pilots. Hey, no mech warrior. That's fun. They give you the option to no mech warrior now, which apparently also zeroes out the mech associated with it. That's new. So we got 2 skills. Going down the list, Buckshot has multi-target and bulwark. That's fine. Blockade has evasive movement and multi-target. Kraken gains sensor lock. He already had multi-target. Mockingbird, sensor lock and bulwark. A lot more sensor lock floating around now. Ozone, bulwark, and evasive movement. I actually played with Ozone in the multiplayer beta on that Thursday at Gen Con, and this is a real good combination. Although I will also say that the update to the way evasive movement works makes it much less powerful than its previous iteration, which is good. That previous iteration was completely broken and completely ridiculous. Showboat's here with sensor lock and evasive movement, and in what I believe is probably the biggest crime of this beta update, they removed her Angel of Death. I mean, really, come on now. Our Punch Queen loses Angel of Death. Sumo, your friend and mine, multi-target and bulwark. They took away his precision shot, which, hey, they've replaced precision shot with a slightly different worded skill, so we'll probably hunt that down at some point. Wildfire, bulwark, and multi-target. She's basically carbon copy of Sumo. Oh, also, by the way, since it catches my eye, notice how Sumo is no longer a god of the battlefield. He's suddenly a guts pilot with mediocre to poor other skills. More crimes. It's terrible, really. It looks like they did kind of a complete rebalancing pass on the entire pilot roster, because everybody at this point has 8, 5, 4, 3 for skills, and there really isn't any variation from those numbers. They're basically across the board 8, 5, 4, 3s, which is a little sad. I kind of wished, in the previous beta version, there were some pilots where it was kind of more middling across the board. There were pilots like Wildfire where it was one very high stat and the rest of the stats kind of suffered in comparison. I don't know. This kind of homogenizing to a rubric of 4 specific numbers, and then you pick and choose. That's kind of rough. But Sumo, oh god, they did Sumo. They did him in. That's rough. I'll probably still use him because why not? Witness down here at the bottom, evasive movement and sensor lock with Tactics 8. Probably going to be one of your premier scout pilot type dudes. And then for the ones that are just floating around out here, Paradise, in what is the most inexplicable thing that I can think of, he keeps his evasive movement, picks up Angel of Death, and he's the only pilot now in the roster with Angel of Death. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's the only default pilot that is in the beta by design with Angel of Death. They took it away from Showboat. They gave it to Paradise. This is high crimes. This is just brutal theft, and I am sad. He keeps his evasive movement because sure, why not? I don't understand why they gave him this and took it away from her, but it's fine. Whatever. Arclight, somewhere around here. How come you're not? There you are. Master Tactician and Sensor Lock. Master Tactician actually still doesn't show up very much in the list. Just take a quick scan through. Nope, none of the other pilots have Master Tactician, and yeah, none of the other pilots have Master Tactician. So a skill that's actually reasonably good and could probably stand to be tested out a little bit more just across all of its different, implementations and iterations on the battlefield. Yeah, still only one pilot has it. Apex gives us Breaching Shot and Multi-Target. Now, Breaching Shot is the reworked version of Precision Strike, but it looks like it's just a change in name only, because the passive ability bonus, attacking with a single weapon, ignores cover and guarded on the target. That just reads to me exactly the same as what it was before. So, that's our pilot roster. Some changes, some disappointments. Nothing really exciting, honestly. Like, I look at this list and it's like, okay, this is fine, whatever. So, when it comes down to picking the pilots, it's just going to be a little disappointing. Now, if my memory serves correct, when I was playing the multiplayer beta at Gen Con, I noticed something. And I'm not sure how much of that is real or it was the excitement of the moment, but I swear I saw some new variants of mechs floating in the list. So we've still got our Atlas, still got our Awesome and the Missile variant, got our Battlemaster, slide on down here, still got a Catapult. So we have our 2 Centurions, Large Laser and Autocannon version Commando, SRM Large Laser and SRM only. The Firestarter is here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Firestarter aboard. The light mech with the flamers that in the previous beta was not done, but when enabled in the game files was completely broken. So HBS took some time to put it into the beta proper and also to put in flamers, although for those of you that have played the tabletop version of this game, flamers work they mostly work the same in this game now, so far, but they added something to them. They gave them ammunition, which is a little weird, and also is not listed as a component in the mech, so I'm not entirely sure how that works. We'll have to take those out on the field. We absolutely will take these out onto the field at some point and give them a go. Got our Griffins. PPC LRM 10. Large laser. Okay, nothing exciting there. Hunchback. Autocan 20. Laserback. Jaegermech. Autocan 5s and 2s. Whoop. And LM15s and Autocan 2s. Still got our Jenner. Still got a Kataro. Got a few Locusts. Medium lasers and medium laser singular machine guns. Medium laser and LM5s. Medium laser and SRM2s. A couple of Orion builds. Again, the one that adds some additional SRM rack. You got your Panther, for those of you that love your PPCs. Quick draw, SRM4 medium laser. Two variants of the quick draw that are very similar. One has slightly more guns. Shadowhawk. Again, one with an extra SRM2. Got your Trebuchet. Got your Urban Mech. Got your two variants of Victors. One with slightly more armor and the other with an extra gun. Something. Oh, SRM4 to an SRM6. And Vindicator. So they didn't really add too much in the way of new mechs. They just added the Firestarter with its flamers and moved on with life, which I understand. That makes total sense to me. Interesting that the artwork for the headshot of the mech is a little bit, it's like in a weird scale, like it's too close to the camera. I would expect it to look a little more like a Commando because it shares a weight class there. But okay, so regardless, we should probably play. What do I want to play with today? I kind of want to just play with a well-rounded team. And I don't really care about getting into heavies today. So let's just weasel all the way down. So we got 15 million C-bills. Divvy that up by 4. You're looking at like 3 and change per mech. Unless you want to dip down into the really low-cost stuff. I don't want to pick Firestarters today because I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow, for tomorrow's video, I'm going to do the Firestarter team, or 3 Firestarters plus 1, and see what kind of havoc we can wreak with that in the new version of the beta. So today, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab some of our typical friends. Oh, Urban Mechs are cheap. Commandos are expensive, but that's fine. Commandos. Also, this is worth questioning. Will it let me launch with a mech? No select. Will it let me launch short of a lance? We'll have to poke at that at some point too. 2 commandos. We can dump this Kintaro. Let's just dump this Kintaro completely for now. No mech selected. That's another wonderful thing. Let's just clear that and clear some mechware. Cool. So we got 5 million down. Means we've got about 9.8 million. That's like 4.9 million a piece if you split it evenly. Where does that put us? 4.9 puts us somewhere in the neighborhood of Hunchbacks and Centurions. This seems alright. I'll take a Hunchback and go Commando, Commando, Hunchback, Hunchback. That's a solid lance. I would run that. I would run that every day of the week for a light lance. Hunchbacks are a little slow for like if we're intending to be a scout lance. Hunchbacks they're not the fastest thing with legs. Pilot wise, let's see. So Hunchbacks, let's start with the obvious thing. I want the best gunners we can find to put into the Hunchbacks. That means Wildfire now, currently, with Bulwark and Multi-Target, which we'll definitely I can see getting some work with Bulwark and maybe the multi-target. So here's the thing that I actually forgot to mention. With Ozone and his having Bulwark and Evasion. With the change to Evasion, and I'll explain it when we actually get into the match, because I'm definitely taking some Evasion pilots. It's no longer a flat 50% chance to miss when you're fired on if you've triggered Evasion. What Evasion now does is that if you trigger Evasion, based on the amount of distance that your mech actually moves, it generates a number of pips, a number of dots of modifier, essentially. And the more you generate, the bigger the 2-hit penalty enemy mechs firing on your evading mech will have, up to a plus 12 2-hit penalty. So instead of just like a 50% automatic dodge, it's actually factoring into the 2-hit calculation of the regular attack. On top of that, you can whittle down a target's evasion modifier by throwing multiple attacks at it. If you shoot at it a bunch, that modifier starts to shrink based on the amount of attacks that you make on it. So it's not, like I said earlier, it is not the be-all end-all to avoiding all attacks forevermore. So we're going to take Wildfire, and we're going to take... What else do we got? I could take Kraken here, or... What's Arclight at? There she is. She is high in tactics. So can we clear her out, please? Yeah, and let's just clear this. This is nice. I like being able to clear this out so I can just see the whole list of everybody all at once. Gunnery. Looks like I take Apex or Kraken. Do I want sensor lock multi-target, or do I want breaching shot multi-target? I want breaching shot because autocannon 20, you have one big gun, makes real good sense for breaching shot. Could probably get some leverage out of that. Over here, this one's a little bit trickier because really what I want is not so much the skills. The skills are important, obviously, but let's look at this. Evasion, 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 evasion. Do you think they're trying to test out evasion in this build? I don't know. I can't tell. I can make my light go more. Arclight, I don't think I need her. These guys at the bottom, unfortunately, with the high tactics, I don't think I need their particular set of skills right here, right now. Yeah, Bulwark, I think. Gunnery. Right, let's just go top of the list, go down until we find gunnery pilots. Paradise, of course he gets in. Though Angel Death, cringe. Does not have a mech with jump jets at the moment. That's fine. Kraken, you're a terrible pilot. That's astonishing. But Blockade has evasive movement. His gunnery is not complete trash, and his piloting is very good. So I think we'll take Blockade. Who, if I'm recalling correctly, also used to have Angel of Death, and also had it taken from him in what is continuing to be just a crime. Light Assault is not the lance that we're going to play against today, because I don't want to play against Urban Mechs. That's dumb. This is actually a reasonable lineup to play against, but let's just take a couple peeks here. They changed the light cavalry to include Firestarter and put Paradise in the cockpit, because of course they did. Fire, Recon, Striker, Support. There's a lot of similarity. I mean, you're only working with 15 million C-bills. The Lances are going to look... They're going to look how they're going to look. I think this is a decent fight. Hunchbacks versus Centurions and Commandos against Commando Panther. Pick a map. Maps are exactly the same as they've been. So let's just go ahead with River Crossing and make it Twilight? Sunset. Foggy day, foggy night. We don't want to pick night because people have complained, not complained, people have pointed out in the YouTube videos that if I run on a night mission, people can't see what's going on. And I totally get that because I can barely see what's going on. So we're going to continue to avoid night missions. Foggy day or rainy day? Let's try rainy day. And let's actually get this slobber knocker started.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors, prepare for combat.
So as an aside, as I mentioned, I was at Gen Con last week. I spent a lot of time playing games. And if you, dear watcher and listener, have any interest in tabletop games at all, and it is a part of your life, I would strongly recommend attempting to get to Gen Con at some point in your life. It is such a big event. It is such a large celebration of all things game related.
Command interface
Tabletop,
initiated.
digital and otherwise.
Trees.
It's totally worth a trip. So, what else has changed in this game? First of all, they have put a on-screen FPS counter, which it's running awfully low and makes me wonder. I'm gonna have to play around with that. Another thing they've made that change-wise is they have changed the way inspiration works. Instead of now filling this bar as your lance does good work, they have changed it around so that this bar fills as your lance suffers damage. So instead of the haha, I'm winning and now I've got a awesome free shot that is a basic guaranteed hit, you have, oh boy, I'm falling behind because I'm getting wrecked, and haha, now I have a good guaranteed hit, which I honestly think is a really good change. Also, they made it, I don't remember if this is exactly how it was before, but they made it so that when you focus, you ignore cover, guarded, and evasive, which is real good. It basically turns into when you push the button to inspire somebody, it's going to guarantee their hits for that turn. So let's get this party started, shall we? We've got 2 on the left are in my commandos, 2 on the right are in our hunchbacks. Let's start with the fatties and get them rolling down the hills.
Roger.
So you'll notice, since I'm sprinting, as my mech sprints, it now generates these little chevrons here. And you can see the chevrons being generated by the sprint move. There we go. There one pops up. 2, 3, nope, 2, 2, 4. That is the indication of an evasive move, and you can now tell at what distance your pilot and mech is going to generate what modifier. So for instance, if I right click on Wildfire here, I can see she has 3 chevrons, 3 evasive charges plus 6 to hit. Whereas if I click on Apex here, 4 chevrons, 4 evasive charges plus 8 to hit. So you basically get a +2 modifier for things attacking the mech for every charge you generate, up to 6 charges or +12, which we will demonstrate right about here.
I understand.
Now, pilots without the evasive movement skill will generate these pips only on a sprint, as per before. You only evade if you have sprint, or you have evasive move. And we will see as we start to play here that
On my way.
Blockade and Paradise, regardless of speed, will generate some of these pips. What makes... Ooh, and we are right into it. Oh, also, they updated the AI. So hopefully, the bad guys won't be total potatoes when it comes time to fight them. I think I'm going to reserve the team. Let them go first.
Picked up a blip. Standing by.
If I could find a nice rock to hide behind, that would be great. Although, well, let's see. This rock is... I'm going to try and hide behind this rock.
Got it.
I'm gonna do a short flank. Oop, had something, lost it. Oop, there it is again. Unknown mech, unknown mech. Unknown mech.
Reporting.
Paradise. Something got cratered over there. Interesting. Can't quite get to how I would like. I think we may demonstrate the way evasion works here. I'm gonna take a sprinting move over to the trees here and get some cover. The only thing left on their team to move is their second medium, which would be of course, is gonna be the Centurion, who drills out the right side of Paradise's torso.
I'm here.
All right, so let's get this party moving. Another nice thing that they added in this version of the beta: if an enemy mech has visibility and line of sight to you, but it's not showing up for you, and of course it's gone now, a little red eyeball icon shows up on the enemy mech. So it was there a moment ago before I moved Wildfire, but this mech here had a little red eye icon when Paradise was selected. I think because we don't have... I think I have to just brace here, which is unfortunate.
Commander.
And I think Apex, we are going to sprint you down. Even on a sprint, you're not really getting as far as we'd like.
On my way.
Yeah, see, there's the icon. So you know when things can see you. Question is that the Commando or is that the Panther? That's the Commando. Alright. Large laser variant, which is good for us. So, let's get Paradise moved. Get some fight going here. Get lines of sight on things. Yes, he can see us, but in a moment we'll be able to see him. 2 evasion charges. How badly did I take that hit? Man, that's rough. So autocannon 10s they reduce the damage on, but autocannon 10s are still real freaking dangerous. 60, 65, 55. It's not the greatest percentages, but let's take a shot because I think I'm going to end up chipping through this. I'm going to do some chipping through this evasion here. Yep, so we removed 1 pip. That means that guy back there is... Oh, that guy back there is the... And I've been sensor locked. The light ding, I don't know if everyone may have heard that, but now it looks like Paradise is, in fact, sensor locked. So that's great. They have Centurions, which means they have LRMs, which means he's probably going to get indirect fired to death now, which is great. I love starting matches by getting slathered in LRMs. Which it is worth noting, sensor lock indirect fire LRMs are, despite the beta patch update, a real good option still, because you can do this. That's a leg, all right, and that's going to generate some
That wasn't good.
some pips of hay fall over. So the way the unsteady to knockdown system works now is they've changed it to this segmented bar. I can't say I actually completely understand it at this point,
Commander?
but we're gonna make the old college try and figure it out as we go. Let's just get down the river. So the AI clearly doesn't want to pick a short-range fight, which is kind of a reasonable thing to want to do given their build. Large laser commando, Panther with a PPC, and then a pair of Centurions with autocannons and LRMs. I want to basically punch their throats in, so I'm going to continue to move up. And I am going to throw some hatred in the way of this commando because despite the low hit percentages relatively, we have removed all of its evasion pips and should take the opportunity to kill it. That should be a good leg. I'll take the mech. I am cool with that.
Mech destroyed.
Alcan 20s. Still ruining light mechs in this day and age. You want to fire on my commandos? I'm going to fire back on your commandos. Ow. Man. Wow. Haha, still have an SRM-6. Paradise is not out of the game yet. But as you can see, lights with evasion are much more fragile than they had been in the previous beta patch.
Moving to position.
Let's get Apex in here and let's drill this guy. 50% is not great. Why is it 50%? Long range, target move, target sized. So the refire penalty still exists, which means if I take this shot, the next shot is going to be unpleasant. Coin flip on an autocannon 20. Man, that's rough. I'm going to take it. Fire first, fire often. Also, it sounds like they did a little bit of audio work on some of the weapons, because that autocannon sounds different, and it sounds great. Blockade takes a shot to the chest. A few missiles from the Panther in the back. No big deal.
What do you need?
Paradise has literally nothing. That SRM-6 in his chest is doing no one any good. Okay. So at this point, I need to get to cover and then hope to get to melee the next turn. So I'm going to go here. Sprint up. Worst comes to worst, he ends up getting shot at because he's bait. And it saves the rest of my lance a little bit of fire for a very brief moment. Let's just take a look at this. 87. Ooh, 8075. We like that. It's front side, but that's fine. I'm just playing it straight today, trying to get back in the groove, so we're just going to face up in a lot of places and just plow things with combined fire.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
It's good. Chip away at the center torso. We like that. Ooh, snuck a head hit in there, too. Shots to the leg, missiles come in. Leg opens up on Wildfire's Hunchback.
I'm receiving you.
Do I want to keep my left side open to that guy? I kind of do, because left side's less valuable on a Hunchback, so I'm just going to face straight up the hill here. And murder the crap out of this guy. So autocan 20 is now at 75 because refire penalty, sensors impaired. There's a new modifier. Why are her sensors impaired? Well, nothing to be done for it for now. Medium laser still has the weapon accuracy bonus, and arm mounted. Arm mounted is a new modifier, so that's interesting. I would actually think that torso mounted weapons would be more accurate because they're more stable, but whatever. I'm not the game designer here. I just like to shoot things. And I'm going to drill the leg of this Centurion open, which is good times. And the Centurion's going to get salty. Alright. You want to bring that salt here? That's cool. That's cool. You can work that arm. I can dead side with the best of them.
Much more of that.
So it is worth pointing out at this point that because of all the combined attacks, Wildfire has taken 4 full bars of stability damage, with sitting on a 5th, and is in threat of a knockdown possibly the next turn. Knockdowns suck. So here's the thing. Here's another thing that was updated in this beta patch. This update to the beta. Knockdowns are real bad now. So not only do you get knocked down, not only do you have to then stand up, which also causes penalties to that round's weapons fire. And while you're knocked down, called shots can be made on you. When you are knocked down, that mech loses a step in the initiative system. So if this hunchback gets knocked down, she will not go on 3 next turn. She will go on 2. And that means everything in the enemy lance gets a chance to shoot at her. So it actually behooves you quite strongly
Aye, aye.
to get in and use the brace action occasionally to clear that stability damage.
Move order confirmed.
Can't do anything about it at this very moment. We can just move Apex up, and we're going to try and drill this guy. Target move +4, target size +1, refire +2. 60% to hit. But we got the small laser in on this action. Heat's not an issue. Nice. Drill that torso off. Center torso at 55 to pop. Does she fall down? Stability warning.
Internal structure damage.
Yes. So there we go. Now you have to actually kind of look forward in the turn and predict when you may need to stabilize through a brace before you take that last pip of stability damage.
Yep.
And as you can see, she's now sitting on initiative step 2, which is fantastically bad. Alright, Paradise, you ain't got much left. I need you to move in here. Oh, good. They made the melee position selection explicit. You can't move to the make it done step until you have locked in your location. Hopefully, that means that that will now just work in every situation. We will find out, because we love that. Nice shot to the center torso and catches him a knockdown. So we are trading knockdowns on our mediums, which is good policy.
Yeah.
This also means that we're going to get to show off another bit of the beta that has been revised ever so slightly. So we're going to move Blockade up, and we're probably going to end up taking out this Centurion, because Centurion is down. I'm going to declare it as a target. Called shots. So now, as you can see, there are a ring of percentages around the called shot paper doll, and as you select them, you can see the hit percentage likelihood of actually tagging the section you care about. It should be noted that if you try and go for headshots, the headshots do have a slightly mitigated percentage, regardless of whether you're choosing to fire at it or not. Like, don't choose anything. 1%. Choose the head 3%. Torsos are at 13s, and center torso, which weirdly is down here. I guess I had to put the number somewhere. It goes up. Doesn't really change. Poking around in the game files, people have already discovered that there's a series of pilot skills that are not currently turned on in the beta that make you a better called shot pilot, and this number can get as high as, say, like 33 or 35% or so with all of the skills stacked up. But that's neither here nor there, because we don't have access to it at the moment. I want to fire at this guy's center torso because I'm probably going to just blow him apart. Let's make it happen. Yep, there we go. Easy peasy. Knock that guy out.
Tango down.
Move on with our lives. Probably going to end up losing Paradise in a real short manner here. Oh no, Blockade's taking weapon fire. It takes it on the arm.
Damn it, I've got an armor breach.
Wildfire, who is under the stability warning. Or, I'm sorry. Has the stability warning because she's literally laying on her back.
Awaiting orders.
Down to the mediums. Okay. So the most dangerous thing on the field right now is the Centurion. And it's probably worth focusing my fire that direction. But I really hate just kind of leaving this Panther hanging out here. So I'm going to focus this guy down.
Moving out.
Nope, they're climbing over a rock. That's the size of your own mech. Yep, that's the thing that happens nowadays. And let's see if we can drill this
Firing
Panther
on target.
right to the torso. Somehow, oh, cover. I was gonna say somehow it doesn't open it up and destroy it, but the Panther had cover. All right, so Wildfire stands up. And when you stand up, you clear your stability damage just as you did before, so there's no change to that part. It's just the impending stability knockdown stuff that is where the problems lie. Is there a way for me to get any cover here? Not really. I still want to... I don't want to... I guess I don't want to give up my left side quite now. If I take a leg hit and have her fall over, that's just bad times.
We got company.
And this attack here is, yep, 55s is not great because stood up +4. Plus we still have the refire penalty rolling there. And whiff. And a couple of lasers. Man, Blockade is suddenly the target,
Reporting.
which is
Turtle damage.
strange to me because
Awaiting orders.
Wildfire and Apex seem like they'd be much better targets to fire at.
On it. Engaging target.
If we can continue to work the left side of this guy, that wouldn't be bad. Although the PPC is in the right arm, so
Yes, Commander.
sigh. But on the plus side, we can get into melee.
Coordinates confirmed.
Probably should have done that first, but enemy team looks like it's skipping its attacks on my Paradise's poor beat-up commando. Side effect of the change to evasion, Paradise actually generated his evasion pips there, whereas
Structure
in the
damage.
previous beta and the old evasion skill, he wouldn't have gotten evasion there. So this is nice. I like that.
Waiting for orders.
Let's see, who's beat up?
Standing by.
Wildfire's beat up. Kind of like to take this cover here.
10-4.
So because of the change to evasion, the value proposition of evasion versus bulwark has changed quite a bit, and especially, and also cover. The damage, the just raw damage prevention that you get while you're in cover or you have bulwark up is so much better now than the evasion 2-hit modifier thing. That,
Copy that.
like, especially on Ozone that I found playing at Gen Con, because he has evasion and bulwark, anytime that you can try and get cover or bulwark is usually going to be a better option than trying to take the evasion. Clearly, the evasion is great when you're on the move, but if you've kind of settled into a position, you want the damage prevention that cover and or bulwark provide.
Standing by.
And we are going to just drill this guy out.
On the move.
Get up on this road. Might be able to... I don't want to jinx it, but we might get out of this with all our mechs intact. I doubt it. Very much doubt it. So, right leg has 100 health, center torso has 107 health. I can hit the center torso on 62% or the leg on 27. I think I want to shoot for the right leg, and if I miss, I end up catching it somewhere in the torso. I hit it in the torso, so that's fine. And I now have focus available. So,
Yep.
I think Paradise... I'm just going to have you curb stomp this person. Yay! It worked. It just kind of... I want to make a melee. Let's back all the way. I want to make a melee. I click on the target. won't let me do anything until I select. Oh, and it makes you. Ooh, oh, so good. So good. They fixed, so far, they have fixed
As you wish.
one of my most severe complaints from the last version of the beta. As I step on his center torso and crush it.
That would be a kill.
Bye-bye. Alright, cool. We got Paradise in the cover. It's 4v1. And get some sweet cover here. Oh no! Blockade is also out of ammo and is reduced to a torso of melee murder. He's gonna... What is he gonna do? Is he really gonna run away?
Yes, Commander.
Alright. Oh. Can I get... Oh, I can't get there. You know what? I'm just gonna sprint into cover here.
Alright, let's move.
Give my heat a chance to dissipate. We like that.
Awaiting orders.
And I think we'll do the same over here. Get ourselves into position.
On the move.
Everything seems fine.
I'm here.
Paradise.
Confirmed.
Standing by.
I could actually go for the baiting move over here. I'm afraid that the Centurion is just going to roll up on Blockade and murder him in the process, though. So we'll go to the fringe here. Let's see if he moves down in the cover or something. He has focused. Don't. Oh. Did he really? Did the AI just literally use its focus and then not fire on us?
I'm here.
That seems like a real poor
Standing
decision. We're gonna get some obstruction to this, which is not great. But those are good numbers. And I'm hitting them in the right side, which is the
Taking the shot.
correct side to fire at on a Centurion. Cover, unfortunately, keeps me from blowing his arm clean off.
Waiting for orders.
Cover is so important in this game now. I mean, it was important before. Make no mistake, but
Order acknowledged.
the more I play, the more I'm coming to appreciate the damage reduction that cover gives you, which is fine. It's a change from the way tabletop works, which I keep saying tabletop as a reference point because I played a lot of tabletop games. A lot of tabletop. I spent a whole day playing nothing but BattleTech on Friday of last week at Gen Con. And it's so good. It's not for everyone, I'm not going to lie. But it is so good. For the kind of people that are into that sort of thing. God, I love BattleTech. And forests and cover in BattleTech don't give you things like damage prevention.
Awaiting
They give you
orders.
2 hit numbers that change. Can I get to him in melee? Nope. So we sprint. We sprint and we make his life difficult. How many pips are we going to generate? I didn't even look. Blockade got 3. Paradise is going to get his full 6. Cool. Guess we lose a pip because we take some hits there.
Yes, Commander.
But the good guys are here.
Aye, aye.
We'll go here first with Apex so that
On the move.
Wildfire doesn't block her shot quite yet. Turn the corner. Face up. 80 and 95. We like that. Heat is good. They changed the way the coloration on the heat bar works now, so it's kind of a red to an orange. It's a little bit easier to read. Fractionally easier to read.
Firing a full salvo.
Boom! Ammo explosion. So, here's the thing that they did
Reporting
change.
critical hit.
They changed the way critical hits work. I don't know if that ammo explosion actually caused the mech to lose its left torso, but
Standing by.
the critical hits are definitely much more dangerous now. Speaking of much more dangerous, we're going to get Wildfire down in on this. She's at 80 and 95 as well. I'm looking for a moment to use my Fury / focus, but I might not need it in this game as I'm running roughshod off over this last
Yeah.
Yes, Commander.
over this last Centurion. 95 are hitting melee. We're gonna pick this side and we're gonna melee the crap out of this guy. My commandos getting in and getting their working out some aggression.
Yep.
Blockade. He's gonna get his chance. 67 health in the CT, 35 damage on a hit. So we're not gonna kill it, but we're gonna put a dent in it. Yep, and we hit a leg, of course. And cause a knockdown. Which means both of my hunchbacks are gonna get their full turns on this guy before he gets a chance to react. This game is done, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a matter of cleanup at this point. Wildfire.
Affirmative.
We're just going to focus down on this guy. In fact, her AC-20 is at 80. I'm going to throw focus on it.
Let's make it happen.
And becomes 95 because refire penalties are still the worst. Center mass. Murder the hell out of him, please. Pop. Nice little objective complete pop up there on the left. Oop. And blew up my leg because I overheated. But we win. And that's game. Ladies and gentlemen. First outing after the big beta patch. 10 rounds, 30 minutes, and just short of an additional minute there. My two commandos get pretty beat up. But they come through in the end. Hunchback's doing the work that they are intended to do. Enemy forces pretty much just chewed up. AI made some moves that were new and exciting. The little kind of consistent flank out of that second Centurion that I ended up killing at the end there was, I kind of expected him to move up more, but chose not to. But still can get the work done if you focus your fire and you make good, tactically sound moves. So, we're back on it. I'm back on it. It's time to be on it. Just full on. But that'll be all for today's BattleTech in the morning. I am humbly and excited with the prospect of more beta testing. I'm Captain Nips. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see all of you in the next video.